Hey there, and welcome back to Love More to Live, where we talk about relationships and getting healthy so that all your relationships can be healthy. And today we're talking about how to live with a messy person. We're going to look at it from principles that will apply to any character trait, any negative character trait in your spouse that really bothers you, like being late or forgetful or anything else like that. You've tried nagging, you've tried ignoring your spouse's faults, and you really want them to change, but nothing is changing, then just stay tuned. We're going to have a look at this in depth. So your spouse has left a chaotic mess behind in the kitchen again. Maybe they've left a trail of clothes on the floor and it's driving you crazy. You've just had it with this messiness. How can you deal with this? Let's look at 6 ways to deal with a messy person, or a forgetful person, or a person who's always late. In other words, any negative character trait that really bugs you in your relationship. Number 1 is stop nagging. And maybe you're not a nagger. That's great, but some people are naggers, and nagging is just so negative and counterproductive. It emphasizes the negative instead of the positive, and it provides no long-term solution, and it can even make your spouse feel like a child or manipulated, because all you're doing is saying, remember to do this, don't forget, remember, don't forget, I asked you, when are you going to? And it doesn't bring about the results that you're hoping for. And in fact, your spouse may even just switch off and ignore you, because you never stop, you just go on and on. Okay, number 2 is lovingly confront the spouse. And I say lovingly because sometimes we confront, but we don't do it lovingly. We do it without respect. So present your case in a respectful way and explain the impact that their messiness or their lateness or forgetfulness, explain the impact that it's having on you. So this is helpful. Instead of accusing and saying, you always leave a mess in the kitchen, it drives me crazy, don't you care about me? Instead of saying that, say, it makes me feel really frustrated, and it feels like you don't care about me when you leave a mess in the kitchen. So you're not accusing, you're actually just expressing how you feel. And then you can say to them, why is this an issue? How can we work this out? Is there a way we can solve this problem, because it's really bothering me? That's so much better than nagging, isn't it? Number 3 is pray for him or her. This is, messiness and lateness and forgetfulness are character traits that are part of a person's nature. And I'm not saying this so that they can excuse it and say, well, I can't help it, this is just the way I am. No, because people can change. But it is part of a person's character, and it's going to take prayer and intention and effort to change. Your spouse is going to have to take ownership of that character weakness and start working on it. So they need your prayers. And just a reminder, don't pray for them and not about them. And very often, there's a huge difference there. Praying about your spouse is, Lord, they did this and this and this and this and this again, and it's driving me crazy. Whereas praying for your spouse is, Lord, work in their life. Do whatever you think you need to do. Convict them of whatever they need to be convicted of. Show them what they need to change. That's the kind of prayers I'm talking about. Number 4 is don't focus on the fault. The more you focus on it, the bigger it's going to become in your mind. And pretty soon you'll start thinking, well, what, my spouse doesn't really care about me very much. And maybe they don't love me that much. And from there it's going to go to resentment, and then bitterness. So you need to choose to keep your spouse's good points before you. Think about those good things. Think about the things that they are good at, that they do in the relationship, so that your mind doesn't become consumed with the negative. And pretty much, if you're consumed with the negative, that's soon all you're going to be able to see in your spouse. And that is very negative for your relationship. So learn to express those positive things to your spouse verbally. Tell them what you're thankful for. Tell them what you appreciate about them. Focus on the positive traits that they do have. Number 5 is don't enable them in their weakness. So don't pick up their clothes and tidy up after them. If they leave a mess, ask them to tidy it. Don't just do it for them in a huff. If the mess is in their personal space, leave it. And that may be hard to do, but leave it. If their clothes are in a mess in their cupboard, leave it. Don't tidy up for them. Don't cover for your spouse or do things to help them avoid the consequences of their own choices and their own actions. So don't save them. Don't rescue them from life's troubles. And this applies to kids as well. Don't rescue them from all their difficulties and all their challenges and from all their weaknesses. Allow them to feel some of the pain that they are choosing by their actions. Okay, number 6 is establish boundaries. So tell your spouse that if their clothes are in the laundry basket, you will wash them. If they're not in the laundry basket, they won't get washed. I know a lady who used to kick her husband's jeans under the bed when he left them on the floor, and that's all she did. She just kicked them under the bed and moved on with life. And when he wanted a clean pair of jeans, there weren't any because they were all under the bed. That's one way of doing it. If your spouse is always late for church, then maybe sometime you need to leave without them and leave them behind, or tell them that you're going to do that and then leave them behind. Let them feel the pain of their choices. And this is not to punish them. Consequences and boundaries are meant to motivate a person to change, not to punish or get revenge. It is to help and encourage them to change. Your attitude towards your messy spouse will impact your entire marriage. So make sure that you are protecting your heart and not allowing yourself to go down the road of resentment and bitterness, but also make sure that you're not enabling your spouse to stay stuck in their messiness or their lateness or their forgetfulness. And I guess that's my story for today. If this was helpful, give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet subscribed, don't forget to do that and hit the bell so that you don't miss out on future videos. And don't forget to leave your questions or your comments so that we can answer you in future videos. See you next time.